to Mzansi. We're back again.
On the troll.
I forgot. That's how we get in today. Listen, I'm not going to be here, but because I have to check up on something, I will be back with the course session. Yes, so you are on your own for now. You're just going to cover almost everything. Then we'll have a session of phone calls and also discussing everything with the callers. So, Emily, the floor is yours. You can do as you wish. Remember to use allegedly a lot. I know it can, sometimes we can get carried away, but please protect the channel through using allegedly. So guys, Emily is going to be with you until everything is done in terms of what happened in that court, and then I'll come and give my opinion on a different session that is gonna come later. Emily, do enjoy.
I know there are some people who are not gonna be happy about this.
No, it's okay. We are forced by this situation, so please just you'll WhatsApp me when you're about to feel that.
I cannot do that. When I do it, I'm fully focused. But
Yeah.
then I will have to look down at my phone. And guys, welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us yet again for another deliberation on the Senzo Meyiwa Trial. Yes, we are back, and unfortunately today you'll just have to bear me and my outrageous opinions of the situation. But guys, Zini, I'm so frustrated with what's happening in that court case. I can't believe we're subjected to this. I cannot believe that this is where we are at this state and this level where things are just literally being forced. Things are being forced, and we are being forced to take them. And how dare Mgomezulu said that they are cooking. How dare he makes such a statement that is bold? But was he wrong? Was he wrong? Because after what we just witnessed today, no, someone has to put a stop to this madness. Someone has to put a stop to this craziness. This is embarrassing at this point. What are you trying to say? To say that there was a BBM call, data usage. First of all, Steyn, how did Steyn be able to detect that because of this amount of data usage, it means the call was a BBM? What if she was scrolling on YouTube? What if she was listening to music? What if she was watching a movie from some other website? How did Steyn come to the conclusion that because data was being used for that certain amount of time, then it means that there was a BBM call? Does he work for the internet service provider? Does he work for BlackBerry? What is going on in that courtroom? This is embarrassing. Someone has to put a stop to this. I don't want to lie, you guys. I don't like what is happening in there. It is borderline becoming very painful. And to see that people are playing us for fools. People think we are stupid. That the court of public opinion is dumb and will accept everything and anything just because. It's very, very, very disrespectful. I don't want to lie, you guys. I don't want to lie. But let's continue covering what happened. So court started late today. And already there was a delay with Steyn presenting his evidence, right? And that cell phone data analyst, Colonel Lambesten Steyn, was expected on the stand in the morning at the High Court in Pretoria. And remember that last week, Judge Ratam Kgwatleng made a ruling, so that he can be recalled to Steyn to come and testify or provide clarity. I thought that today we were going to be provided with clarity as to why those two numbers that were said to belong to accused number 5, Sifisokuhle Ntuli, Pinky Fine-Tillengam from Vodacom, or rather Vodacom itself, are saying, no, those numbers do not belong to Sifisokuhle Ntuli. They belong, one of it belongs to Senzo and the other one belongs to Arthur Mafokati. So I was expecting that clarity. I was never ready. I was never ready for the inclusion of internet calling, data calling now. So I don't understand what is going on, but this is giving me deja vu. Remember how when Veiws came and testified and made mistakes, and then he had to be recalled again. He had to go back and write a new affidavit and then come back and start over from scratch. It's literally the same strategy that I feel, in my opinion, is being used with Steyn. Steyn is trying or attempting to rewrite his first testimony, in my opinion. So the reason why Steyn apparently was late today in the morning was because he had just landed at OR Tambo International Airport. So he was on his way from the airport to Pretoria. So after he arrived, State Prosecutor Advocate George Baloyi said that the defense has surprised them. It's the interesting choice of words for me, surprised us. You know, it almost felt like he wanted to say they ambushed us. Well, he said that they surprised them with the fact that they had an appointment with their ballistic expert at 1300 hours in the afternoon. So they will sit until then. So already we could tell that it was going to be pretty much a short court day. And Judge Rata informed Steyn that he said sit down because he was informed that Steyn was hospitalized and that he has not been well. So Advocate Baloyi introduced new exhibits, and these exhibits included the affidavit that was requested by Advocate Mgomezulu on Tuesday before the adjournment. And the judge wanted to know if all the defense was in agreement with the request that Mgomezulu made of the affidavit the week before, last week, I think it was Monday. Ramasipele said that they subscribed to the fact that the affidavit had been furnished, and Nisi said that once it gets used in court as an exhibit, then it becomes a court record. So Khumalo and Mshololo confirmed the receipt that they did receive the affidavit. Well, the judge reminded them that he did the same with Veiws. Remember the supplementary affidavit that they had all the discussion about it and that they all agreed. So he was reminding the defense that you remember, you guys, you all had a discussion whether Veiws must go and rewrite his affidavit and produce a supplementary affidavit, and you guys agreed on it. And he said that he made a ruling that Veiws would be re-examined from the beginning, and for some weird reason, he was also still holding on to what Mshololo had said when she said that an injustice was being committed. Because if you remember correctly, Mshololo was opposing for Veiws to do that, to rewrite his affidavit. Remember, he was caught. He was caught because he was in a tricky place during cross-examination. And then they're like, no, let's start over. Have you ever been in a game and you're playing a game and you win? And as you're winning, the person you're playing with or playing up against says, no, let's start over, because they're losing. That's what this feels like, in my opinion. So he had a problem with the term an injustice, because Advocate Mshololo was saying that it's an injustice. And the way he was saying it was almost as if he was expecting Advocate Mshololo to take back her words, to say, no, I'm sorry, I did not mean that. Of course, Mshololo did not do that. She sat on her seat and she gave her serious face. And she said, you know what? I'm not going to do that. Inside, I'm imagining inside what she was saying, that, you know what? So I must be made to feel guilty. I must be made to feel guilty for calling it what it is, for calling a spade a spade. I must be guilt trip. She did not come to play. She was like, you know what? brush it off. And you could tell that the judge, wanted the response from Shololo, but however, she restrained herself. Okay. So Baloyi also added accused number 5's Capitec bank statement. At the time, I was like, okay, this Capitec bank statement is now popping up and it's being added. For what reason, I don't know. I don't know how this will help the situation, but already I had suspicions. I had suspicions that Pinky could not link accused number 5. They are going to make sure that they link accused number 5 with Kelly Khumalo. It's their job. It's what they're trying to do. And they are not going to stop trying to do that. It's something that we have to deal with. He also added the net bank statements of the accused. And he did not mention which accused it was. And then there was also an affidavit of Mr. Chupe Christopher Mutlo of the Road Traffic Management Act. Do you guys remember that this guy? Yes. That's the one who mainly, the testimony that I remember when it came to this guy was to place accused number 1 in Vosloorus in 2014, because accused number 1 had said that he was not based at Vosloorus in 2014. He had lost his job and he went back to Makaya. And then this guy came and said, but he did his license in Vosloorus. So he was coming and taking his learners at Vosloorus, and the traffic road system is what he used to place him there. And also Baloyi asked Steyn when did he retire. And Steyn said that he retired end of November 2023. And of course, that was after he had testified, because he testified around July of 2023. So Baloyi then asked him, the reason for your recall is to clarify the issue of the 2 calls reflected on your affidavit and the information that is contained in Miss Fine-Tillingham's affidavit, which she made on the 16th of May 2024 regarding the calls of the 2nd of August 2014 and the 15th of October 2014. And Baloyi said that it was put to Miss Fine-Tillingham that you, Steyn, fabricated your evidence regarding these 2 calls. Are you able to comment regarding this allegation? Steyn said, yes, I'm in a position to do that, to comment. And I was like, yes, finally, we are going straight to the point. Boy, was I wrong. I was wrong, because this was just a warm-up question. Mina, in my head, I was thinking, okay, we are going for the jugular. So these numbers, Steyn, where did you get them? Kanti Steyn is going to take us for a ride again. He's doing it again. He's taking us for a ride. So Baloyi then said, is it correct that you have put together a document and your affidavit to explain the evidence that you gave? And Steyn said that's correct. Baloyi asked him, do you prefer to give evidence from your affidavit? And Steyn said that's correct. So the document was identified as Steyn's document. And Baloyi asked Steyn to turn to the last page and asked him when was it commissioned. And Steyn said that that document was commissioned on the 8th of August 2024. This was last week Thursday at 8:45 by Lieutenant Colonel Root. So this is last week Thursday that he was having this affidavit commissioned. He did get a nice time, 2 days, to work on that affidavit, allegedly. Well, Steyn confirmed his signature as well on that document. And you know what the interesting thing was? As I was reading the chat, I saw someone say that Steyn should be careful. Baloyi could be building a case on him. And I couldn't help but think. But then I held myself, because that was my initial thought as well. I had thought that Steyn has been thrown under the bus, but then after last week, as Mzansi Reality, with the help of Mr. Anonymous, we came to the conclusion that, there's no way they're going to throw Steyn under the bus. They're not going to do it. So it seems like they're going to sync with him, allegedly. If there's any syncing that will take place. But they're choosing to go down together. Allegedly. So it somehow feels that way. Somehow feels like, but why are you making Steyn testify on things he has no access to, has no information to? Somehow it does feel like he's making Steyn implicate himself further on the stand. I don't know what you guys think. You tell me in the comment section. You tell me in the chat what you think about the situation. Okay? So the protection of Steyn here, it's the protection of Steyn. The protection of Steyn is the protection of everybody who is involved, allegedly, in the cooking, allegedly. But it seems like they are willing to sync with him. And this is, at this point, is very embarrassing. So Steyn continued to read his statement. He said that he has been analyzing cell phone data since 1999. He further explained, without Baloyi asking, that in government, when you finish your career, you have to hand in everything. But isn't that for every job? I mean, even in the private sector, you have to hand over your laptop and digital devices that the company gave you. That includes hard drives, your laptop, and all your personal belongings. And he said he bought himself a new laptop with new hard drives, and they have the new Windows program. That in the government laptop, it was the 1999 Windows. So he's saying that he was using Windows year 1999. I can remember Windows program that I used back in the day when I was still in high school and learning computers and stuff. 99 was like the oldest version. It was very old. I remember at the time, around 2010, it was old. And he was still using it up until 2018. Now, I don't believe that. I honestly don't believe it, but people who work in SAPS and your operating system is from 1999, I don't believe that. No, our government may be many things, but having you guys use I don't believe that. Maybe it's Steyn's preference. It was his preference to keep or hold on to the 99 Windows. Maybe it was his preference, right? I don't think that the government or SAPS would make people stick to a version that old. Words fail me. I don't believe that. So you guys can correct me if that is really the case as Steyn is painting it out, but I don't believe this. He said that he replaced the data with the new program, but some of the data is missing or misplaced. And of course it is. It has to be, because it's a different device and you had to move certain things and keep certain things and move certain things from your old workstations or hard drives and all of that to the new laptop. By the way, is that allowed? Why is it allowed to do that? Once you've retired and now you need to testify, you must now put data that is regarded as confidential and put it in your personal. I don't know, different strokes for different folks. Does it work like that in the SAPS? Because if it does, none of us are safe. He But it's what he said he did, and he was transparent and put it in the court. Okay, but luckily he said up to now he got enough information to testify. Okay, and this to me already sounded like excuses that he's warming us up to mistakes have happened. That's just my opinion. And Steyn also said that the investigating officer applies for the Section 205 from the service provider, for instance, like Vodacom or MTN. And Baloyi asked him, the Section 205 was what request? And Steyn said it was for the cell phone records. So he also said that the analyst in this case stands alone. The analyst does not apply for any information or statements from the service provider. It's only the investigating officer who does that. So in this instance, Gininda is the one who made the application for the Section 205s. That's him passing on the responsibility and the duty to the investigating officer. And he said also that the analyst only receives instructions or requests from the investigating officers. The reason why he said you're doing it like that is to retain your chain of evidence. Then after the court's approval, the request for full information is completed and handed to TSU. TSU, he said, it's the technical support unit. Then they issue a reference number to the application and forward the Section 205 request to the relevant service provider. And in this instance, he said it was to Vodacom. Then TSU sends it to Vodacom. Vodacom attended the request. Then it sends it back, or sends a copy of that to TSU office in a PDF copy. Ms. Pinky Fine-Tillengam had already explained this. And to me, it's amazing how in Steyn's initial testimony, he conveniently left out this TSU, this very important department. He left it out, So you guys, do you remember also that last week they were saying that the PDF was sent to SAPS, which led us to speculate that perhaps they wanted to say that anyone from the SAPS could have inputted the wrong numbers on the Excel spreadsheet or something like that. And also, remember how he was talking about Truecaller. Not at any point did he tell us about this TSU, which actually receives these Section 205s, which they are very much involved in the requesting and receiving of these Section 205s. So Steyn was pretty much explaining the process of how police go about acquiring a Section 205 application from a service provider that they use in cell phone analysis. So Baloyi went on to ask about the PDF document from the service provider and what it contained. And Steyn said all cell phone records of the cell phone. Now, here I become very confused, because at some point he says he received the Excel, right? Did I hear him correctly? So if he received in Excel form, why is he commenting about a PDF form? Why? So Steyn said all the cell phone records of the cell phone, not including any personal information. He says, like, if I save someone's name to a number, it doesn't include it. That is still your personal information that is stored in your handset. Then TSU converts the PDF file to Excel. I was like, So the process of the converting of the PDF to the Excel spreadsheet happens at TSU, the Technical Support Unit. That's where the converting from PDF that they receive from Vodacom or service provider to Excel. Interesting. And he said that the reason for that is because AMB is only working on Excel document, which is a working document. You see why I'm questioning him. Why is he talking about the PDF as if he's seen the PDF before? Because right now he's telling us that TSU is the one that converts the PDF to the Excel spreadsheet. But then he talks about the PDF. At his level, he should be saying, I don't know anything about the PDF. I only work with the Excel, right? So unless if he was there in the conversion of this PDF to the Excel spreadsheet, I don't think he should be testifying anything at all about the PDF. But that's just my opinion. Okay, and he also said that he only was working on an Excel document, which was a working document. Now, this Excel document becomes the document of the SAPS, meaning that they can do whatever they like with it, right? Right? It's a question I'm asking. So once it becomes a document, so the PDF is not a document of the SAPS yet. They turn it into a document of the SAPS by making it into an Excel spreadsheet. And he says once it's in Excel format, then it becomes the document of the SAPS. And he says that because the SAPS already changed the format, now it's the property of the SAPS. Interesting. The AMB program is what they use in the police to link all the information from service provider or the cell phone downloader to the police. The Section 205 will only have numbers on it. It won't mention any names, right? And the AMB will only mention the cell phone numbers, not the names of people. And then he said withdraw. But then he was corrected himself to say import after Baloyi asked him what he meant by throw, withdraw. Well, he said that they imported the Excel spreadsheet of the Section 205 in the AMP. That is only information from the service provider. And he also said that AMB program can be used for movement, transaction, and anything. He said he could even tell where the guy was at the time of the call. And I was like, what happened to Truecaller? Last time he was asked about this. How did you know that this number belongs to so and so? This number belongs to so and so. And what did he say? Truecaller. Now Truecaller has disappeared. So already by reaching this far, you can tell that there has been a change. How he testified to have done his work in 2018 is no longer the same. So what does that mean? He has redone the work in 2024 to accommodate all the uncomfortable places that they have found themselves in. And the question now becomes, is that fair? Is it fair that when you are caught up in a lie, you are given an opportunity over and over to redeem yourself? Is it fair? Is it fair to the accused? Is it generally fair? Because all they need is one link to the accused. One link. And so far, they don't have much. And they're going to fight, allegedly. They're going to fight to restore not only that, but their own reputations are on the line here. So, Truecaller has disappeared from Steyn's evidence. But he also said that this incident, he only used cell phone numbers. He no longer used Truecaller. Now he's talking about he only used cell phone numbers. He continued to read his statement, and it said that the conversion, although I heard him say conversation, but maybe it was a mispronunciation. He meant conversion. Conversion of the data does not involve the manipulation of the data. He said that he then used the analyst notebook program to draw an analyst notebook program, to draw a chart of the information. And he says he also placed all the cell phone data information which was received from service providers on the combined Excel spreadsheet for court purposes. So Baloyi asked him how to go or where to go and where it explains how the program works. And Steyn said that in order for the analyst notebook program to read information correctly, certain information must be edited. For example, the analyst notebook doesn't recognize zeros at the beginning. So in his last testimony, he already explained this, and he was repeating it again today. And to my surprise, the judge kept on hammering him with multiple questions for his understanding, of course. And I'm like, but you also did this the last time he testified. He was asking a lot of questions about the removal of the zero. How many of you guys remember that? Or am I the only one? And today he was asking questions again like it was new information. It's for his understanding, of course. It's for his understanding. But it for me, it was shocking. It was like, okay, we're going to pretend like Steyn is testifying for the very first time. Okay. And then not the interpreter calling zeros amakanda. I know, amakanda is like, but then I'm like, makanda, like... Okay, the interpreter situation is a story on its own. I don't know what's happening, but that interpreter, he's interpreting in a very special manner. So they replaced the zeros also with 27. He didn't mention initially the plus 27. But later on, he said that they removed the plus as well. And then they just put 27. He also said that a common number is removed that would give false links. A number like 100, 111, or 144. For example, if you send a please call me, there's a number that you dial. For every network, I think it's different. 3 numbers. And then like star in between. He said that they removed those. And he said then all of us will have a connection with that number. That's why we delete it. Then he said he removed all the pluses and the zeros. The prefix plus will be read as a different number. And conversion of the data does not involve manipulation of the data. So Baloyi also asked him, the previous sentence you just read out is the crux of the allegation against you. That he manipulated the data. Well, the judge asked him what he meant by that. And Steyn now had to re-explain everything that he had just explained about the removal of the zeros, the placing of the 27, the removing of the plus. Yeah, he re-explained that whole shebang bang, and we listened to it, and he said that it had nothing to do with Vodacom. The program would pick up a number and do the rest. He said that he actually can't do anything with the program. So Baloyi asked him, is there any human intervention in that process? And Steyn said, no, not at all. But how? I'm sorry, but how? Because you are busy removing zeros and stuff. How can you say there's no human intervention? You are saying I'm using Excel to analyze. Who's analyzing Excel? Is it analyzing itself? There's a human there interacting. You are the human who's doing all of the stuff, removing zeros and So why would you like to have it believed that There's no manipulation of the data. Why do you like to emphasize on that? Because clearly there is, you know. I don't understand. Then Steyn mentioned that at the time that they applied for a Section 205 with the investigating officer, the Popy Act was not applicable in 2014. And I kept asking myself, manjingenapi Popy Act. Popy Act is an guy, Steyn. What is the relevance of Popy Act when you did not care for it before? Why all of a sudden today do we bring up Popy Act out of the blue? Then Steyn said that, as he mentioned in his statement, he didn't change anything. No, but you did. You changed the zeros. You changed the PDF. And the Excel do not look the same. There has been a change there of numbers, and we are waiting for you to explain how did that happen, and we are nowhere getting close to that explanation. He received the downloads from Sergeant Mushwana, and the phone type he said was ZTEV795. He gave the IME number, he gave the serial number and the cell phone number of Kelly Khumalo, which ends with 4358. In full, it's 827044358. Suspect name Kelly Khumalo. The offense at the time was murder, and Lieutenant Colonel Left Liam at the time he was on the case. So Steyn said that Kelly Khumalo was not treated as a suspect, but was treated as a person of interest. He said that they discovered that the number of Ngani, accused number 5, which he called out in full, plus 2733059202, the number is being confirmed by Inatis and statements of the bank. So what I was literally picking up here is that Steyn was working against Pinky Van Dillingem's evidence, in my opinion. It's just my opinion, you guys. Because now they are pushing it to a direction of where now this Inatis has to be investigated as well and be questioned. And to me, it feels like a distraction, because this should not be happening when Vodacom is saying what it's saying. So I don't know what is the end goal or the plan or the aim here. I don't see it ending well, in my opinion, because it's now giving the Inati system guy the side eye. It's now having to look into the bank as well to say, can we pull the original of the bank? Can we pull directly from the Inati system? Or maybe it's because Inati system and these bank statements could be easily, you know, I don't know, but it's just something is fishy. Something is not right. But he refers Steyn to the affidavit of the Inatis expert, Mr. Chupweklo, then told Steyn to read the cell phone number. The name of the infringer, it said Ntuli. That's what Steyn said as he was reading Mr. Mutlo, the Inatis system expert, the cell phone number that was there, that was attached to accused number 5. The same number the cell phone expert said did not belong to Ntuli. So they are giving it to him by force, allegedly. So for me, it's the audacity as well, more than anything, with what has happened. How are we expected to believe these bank statements now and then not this person? It's almost like now they are discrediting Pinky now. They're discrediting Vodacom, right? It's the battle of the experts. Steyn wants us to believe his story more than we believe that of Pinky, and it's never gonna happen now because Pinky did what she had to do, and Pinky made it clear that from their system there's no tampering. It comes out as a PDF. A PDF, they cannot edit it. And then what happens? TSU in the SAPS, they edit it, right? They edit it, they make it an Excel. Already it's changed from its original form. So between Pinky and who is who in the zoo? So we must just take Steyn, who's coming back to rectify his evidence. We must believe him over Veiws, who's so far only testified or needed to appear once. Well, Steyn said that the same cell phone number was from the bank statement, and he also said that the device booted up, meaning everything that was on the device was deleted. So he said that when you try to delete all the information, then it would reboot itself. So literally what he's trying to say here is that Kelly Khumalo deleted or rebooted her phone so that it wipes out information or what may have been in that phone. So it seems also to me, in my opinion, it's the Kelly angle again. The sensationalizing, right? We all want Kelly to be accountable, right? And he's using the same technique that he used when he initially testified. This is just my opinion, okay? Attempting to shock us and give those media headlines so that we focus on Kelly again, even though there's nothing much to grasp on. Yes, I'm giving her the side eye for deleting and rebooting on that phone. What is she hiding? She's hiding something. We are all giving her the side eye for it. But you are being asked, Steyn. You came to... We've heard this before. We've heard all this information before. You must come and give us clarity as to why the numbers from the PDF are not the same as the one in your Excel. That's all we want at this point. So when you are repeating information, you are repeating the headlines, the sensationalism. Look at Kelly. Go and roast Kelly and drag Kelly on social media. And then let me finish testifying. You know, it's giving that. It's giving, we know this, you testified about this. So why are you bringing it up again? For what good reason? Steyn also said that Kelly Khumalo rebooted her phone in the early morning after the incident, and that's why he did not have complete memory of downloads of the phone book. It is suspicious, definitely, but she could have been hiding something else. In my opinion, she could have been hiding all of the phone calls that she made or allegedly made to Chico and stuff. Allegedly. Okay? You could have been hiding, but remember also that Tumelo testified to the effect that there were phone calls happening on that night between Kelly and Chico, allegedly. Okay, so maybe she was removing that part of evidence, allegedly. We don't know who she called after the incident took place. And there was also a mention of a Malume Khumalo, an uncle of hers apparently, who was there at the scene, who's alleged to be a forensic what. Do you understand what I'm saying? So maybe she didn't want people finding out who she was making phone calls to. And of course, I'm not creating excuses for her, but it's definitely suspicious, but at the same time, we've heard this before. We've heard that the phone was wiped after the incident. We were shocked back then. Are we supposed to be shocked again? When we just want to know why those two numbers are different in the PDF from the ones that are in your Excel that you were working on, Steyn. That's all we need. We don't need much. We don't need this repetition of headlines. We just want to know what caused that discrepancy. Yes. So the time was 01:38 a.m. in the morning, and he said that it's plus 2 hour rule. It's now a 03:31, and he added 2 hours to the 01:38. Remember how when we initially analyzed his testimony, the first one that he did, we had a problem with these 2 hours. I personally had a problem with it. I didn't understand why he needed to add 2 hours. And at some point, it felt like he's adding those 2 hours because he was shifting the time that it was alleged that the incident took place, in my opinion. But then he keeps insisting on these 2 hours. And now adding these 2 hours, doesn't it change or become different from what Vodacom Section 205 is? That PDF, what does the PDF say? Does the PDF also have 2 + 2 hours? That's where the trick also comes in, to say, you are saying you didn't manipulate, but here you are adding both 2 hours. You understand what I'm saying? So Kelly constantly phoned family and friends, is what he says. And there was Senzo's friend, Kelly Khumalo. Here he goes again, throwing a name, a very prominent name right now. Kelly Khumalo is a deputy president of the Patriotic Alliance, a political party. Abahambe, yes, that one. He's very active in fighting this whole illegal immigration thing in the country. So he's a very famous man. He's been famous. In fact, around the time of 2010, 2014, he was known as the Sushi King. Celebrities were his thing. He was the life of the party, okay? He was driving expensive things, living the champagne lifestyle, and people were inspired. And celebrities, he was around celebrities. You know, he had money. He still has the money. It's just that now he's a politician. But it's a very prominent name in the country, and Steyn just hoid it in there to make it seem like Kelly Khumalo knew something or whatever. Yay, guys, yes, you know when they know we are thirsty. We are thirsty for the truth, and they're just baiting us. They're just doing this. They're just doing this. What relevance is there to bring up Kelly Khumalo? I mean, what is the point? He also mentioned of another friend called Kanya, and also Zandi, the sister of Kelly Khumalo. And also he said that the number 2773505920, which is alleged to be that of accused number 5, aka Athama Fokati, at the same time, he was saying that that number was saved as NA in Kelly Khumalo's phone, N/A. He was also saying that there was also a name that was saved as something different. So the judge now asked that name, or actually was confirming that name was written as Dzonga WTF. And Steyn said that he thinks that it is something that she was trying to hide. There you go again, Steyn, with your very wild accusations. There you go again, throwing them out there in the air. You know, and he said that there was other numbers saved as N/A. He said that some numbers were deleted. He also found Kelly's email address. He also mentioned another exhibit with all the programs on the phone. And he said that he traced the call using data. Now he's using data now. He said that they needed, to use the data. So now Steyn is using data. Now he's an expert of data calls that he initially did not mention in his first testimony. Yeah, ne? The number ending 4358, he said, received a call from the number ending 9202 on 24th of August the 2nd. The time was 10:47. The duration was 1 minute 50 seconds. During that time, she said, Kelly was using data. Hence, it will not show on Vodacom. Yeah. Guys. Yeah, see, this poiki course that is being cooked. Icon. Yo, allegedly, allegedly, this boycott cost that is being, they're trying to make us go insane. And he said, because it comes straight from the download. He said he downloaded what was inside Kelly's phone. And from the cell phone downloads, he saw that there was a data call that happened. And in my opinion, I'm like, but this is also untrue, in my opinion, because Pinky from Vodacom testified that Vodacom does not have the details of what the data did, but they also have the data usage. So you can't tell us, Steyn, that you are the only person who was able to see the data usage. Well, Pinky said Vodacom can see it. It's just that they can't tell what you were doing with the data. So now what you must do, Steyn, is explain to us how you can see that the data was used for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. How did you discover that it was used for this certain thing? That's what you must explain to us.
Yeah, guys, I see. I come back. Likes are not liking, but I see people are many on the comments. Let's push the likes, guys. Unless, Emily, you don't need me. You just want me to have my session.
I was starting to enjoy this solo hosting. I'm practicing my skills, you guys.
Okay, continue then doing your own thing.
No, but you can, you can chip in. You can chip in once you have an opinion. Once I pass, like how we usually do. I'm not gonna restrict you.
No, continue.
But yes, I was.
You're enjoying yourself.
Guys, I need to practice this solo hosting thing. There's so many stuff I wanna do, but then I'm shy.
You're shy.
I'm like, yeah, solo hosting. I'm not really strong.
Just give them a chance then to like your video.
Guys, like the video. Please like the video. Encourage me with your likes. Encourage me.
Asim Raul is asking where I am. I'm here now.
Yeah, Mr. Anonymous is back. Rauli, I know y'all are here for him. It's fine. Nothing personal. Okay. I also need Mr. Anonymous. But I just needed to practice my solo skills. My solo hosting skills. Yeah, but yes, must work on them. You know, what happens in the future? Well, the judge said that the numbers on the PDF, they do not correspond with the numbers that was on the Excel. So this is where the judge, I felt, was trying to take him to the biggest
they
issue.
tried to explain the issue of data usage, just to give you a context. They added that +2 or something, and then pushing it to, I don't know where it was supposed to be, where it was recognized by section 205. So that's why they were trying. But I see all these things that are happening, people telling us that, hey, I have one question.
Ask.
Service providers, they keep our cell phone records because we have a cell phone. We have their cell phone number that belongs to them.
Yes.
Some might call it CLI. Okay, that's CLI, which is a cell phone number in a nutshell. They keep information. Basically, they keep tabs on what we do. So now, one question I have for Steyn is, how did you figure out all this time and all these things? Time of course, because you cannot, it's vague to say there was internet usage, and then through that you were able to see the call lasted 1 minute 5 seconds. How did you see that? Because it must be that you downloaded an app. That means a WhatsApp, for example. Then from that WhatsApp, then you are able to pick up that, okay, there was a call. I'm not sure if these WhatsApp even show how long the calls were.
And that's also on condition on whether the original WhatsApp owner chose for it to be backed up so that it reloads the information once the phone is no longer connected to WhatsApp. Right. There's an option where you choose whether you want your old data to be saved. And when you use another device, for example, to load the WhatsApp.
So I see for WhatsApp that we know for sure it was not there during that time. It does tell you that you were in a call for like, 11 minutes, 49 seconds. I'm just looking at Jonathan's call at around 12:25. I mean, at around 12:25, which is 25 past midnight. Does tell you how long but we know that this was not there. Right?
At the time, no.
So that's why
it was very basic.
My question is, I see everything that you are saying. I hear you are saying, yes, you managed to see a call, data usage and all that. That is immaterial. Let's say, for argument's sake, that existed, that happened, that there was data usage. But how did you get all these details like Section 205? It must be that when you downloaded a certain app and you were able to view the app. That's my question.
And you know what's confusing about this is they are saying that they take the phones, they download what is in the phones, right?
Yes.
And then they give the phones back, which is what happened at 2014. So now I'm conflicted in how did you get to see what was inside the applications?
Yes, that's my question exactly. Because if he says there was maybe a call for argument's sake on WhatsApp, and that WhatsApp then was able
how
to
did you
pick
get
up
inside
how did you get
Kelly's
inside
WhatsApp?
the WhatsApp? And why did you get inside the WhatsApp and not actually taken all the information that you would need for investigation? Because in any case, there was no Popy Act and whatsoever.
Oh, no wonder why he brought up the Popy Act. He wanted to justify the getting inside. Infringing on Kelly's WhatsApp.
Yes, on whatever that they are going to say they are attributing these calls to. There was no Popy Act, so there's no law broken. Still on a rock solo, or should I continue?
Because I was like, why is he mentioning Popy Act?
Everything is said for a purpose.
So he wanted to justify the infringing of Kelly's WhatsApp and BPM.
Yes. Which is not going to be able to do so because he's going to need to bring proof of that BBM and say there was a call on that BBM.
And when did he exactly pull these WhatsApp calls is the question.
No, he didn't. Didn't.
Did he do it in 2018? Did he do it in 2024? Or did he do it in 2015? Which one is it?
The downloads can be downloaded and be written on a certain disk or whatsoever. So maybe whoever downloaded them at the time and they were given to him for analysis. This is where the problem is. He's going to need to... if I was this defense, I was going to say, please show us. With the raw data, let us bring raw data. Please show us what you're talking about, how you arrive into a call happening. We want to see that call happening. It's not just a hidden information.
Hi, you cannot do that. You cannot...
No, it's simple, serious. We don't need to go far. You are saying there was a call. The call lasted 1 minute, 5 seconds, and it was not done direct now. All of a sudden, it's fine. Please pull us that information. Bring us the raw information of such. Where you got that information and how you arrived. Come with the downloads. Come do it here.
Come show us how you opened Kelly's WhatsApp and BPMs and got this information.
Yes.
I think that's what will give us all peace. Because right now, what you are speaking of is not making sense. Because the combos are not communicating when it comes to this and how you are saying.
Someone is asking, are the zeros removing themselves? No, someone.
No.
I heard that question.
He's the one who removes them.
I think you're referring to human intervention.
Yes.
Yes. I don't think you understood the question. There is human intervention in removing those zeros and all that.
It's him. He's removing them, but he's speaking like Excel removes it. It removes them.
Yes. And I repeat again. I see they are trying to correct now because we have talked about these things. Some of them. I repeat again. What he was doing amounts to data manipulation. Whether it's wrong or right now, that's a different question. But it is data manipulation. When you start changing cell phone numbers, we do it also.
Removing zeros.
When we are given data at work, maybe they wanted to put it somewhere. And then that system does not recognize zeros. Maybe it's for example, an England system that recognizes numbers through the code. So you have to include those code. Those who did SQL, they would know, they would understand. Even in Excel, you trim or remove zeros, and then after trimming, you add those numbers. That's basically data manipulation. Or you go to format, for example. You format those numbers in whatever way that you want to format them. Then they give you what you want. It just doesn't make sense that they're still saying that's not data manipulation. Data analyst. I don't understand. It is data manipulation, but it's not for bad reasons. That's what maybe he should have said.
Yes.
It is to just make it workable.
Yes.
You know, if you put, for example...
That would make sense.
If you put, for example, plus 27 instead of 27.
Excel
cannot read that as a number.
Yes.
It reads it as a character.
Yes.
So, therefore, there's going to be an error or whatever, depending on how they formatted that column that you want to use. It just doesn't make sense how these people speak freely.
No data manipulation. I'm like, wait a minute.
It's crazy, man, that they can go to court and lie.
Once you lie like that with a bold face.
That's a small thing that
it's
you
a
could
small,
just admit,
yeah, you don't
we
need
are
to
manipulating
lie.
data, but not for changing completely the complexion of data, but we're just making it to be
Clean.
acceptable for a certain reason, or clean for a certain reason. That's okay. It's fine. There's no harm in that.
Absolutely no harm in that. But then when you start now lying to the masses and saying there's no data manipulation,
No
but
human
yet you are
intervention.
saying
First they said that this woman came and said you cannot edit PDF. Now PDF is edited. She's not here to answer for that. She's gone now.
she's gone.
She has ran away. You are saying it as a matter of fact. That, hey, PDF, no.
And you know what's frustrating about it is she couldn't even say at Vodacom we do not
We are
edit
not
the
allowed.
PDF.
Yes.
We are not allowed. She's like, no, PDF is uneditable. It's a lie.
And we all knew it was a lie. If these people go to court and lie about this.
Little things that they lie about. So can you imagine what more?
So the rebooting coup did not work. No, let's talk about it. The rebooting, they were going to say they restored data. That's where they were going, right? You remember how they presented it?
Yes.
Some data might have been restored through rebooting.
Initially. Initial
Because
testimony.
that thing, we bullshitted, it didn't work. Now it's rebooting for deleting. Hey,
Yo, boy.
this is low 101. This one.
Yo, guys. Yo, this is torture.
It's a mess.
This is torture.
No, it's a mess.
Like, why are they doing this to people?
This is no longer clarity. It's just, if you ask me for my own opinion, it's like a cover-up on top of a cover-up that is messing up the whole thing. It's like trying to stitch something that is not stitchable. You can't stitch this. Just leave it as it is.
Well, and Steyn said that the number ending with 4358 at 014611 BlackBerry net, meaning that Kelly was using data and not a normal cell phone call. Where did he get this BlackBerry net? That's the stuff he needs to demonstrate. Where did he get BlackBerry net from?
So
and
so he
Baloyi asked
didn't have
Steyn,
BlackBerry. He was using the app.
and they are saying that she was using the app. Apparently in 2014,
You could.
if you had a phone that was not BlackBerry, you could download an app that uses BBM.
Yes. I've had people say that. I've never done that. I had BlackBerry, so I didn't need to go through that.
I never had it. I never participated. I was behind.
Much as I'm behind, but BlackBerry or not.
I remember hearing first of WhatsApp in 2011, but then I was like, I ain't got no time for that.
BlackBerry. I don't remember who sold it to me, that one. It was, at the time, it was very smart.
And I was like, okay, fine, I can remember. But what I do remember is that it was just messaging. It was texting with WhatsApp. It didn't have phone calls. It didn't have none of that.
Yeah.
So now I'm hearing that BBM, if you're using a different type of phone, you could actually download the application for it.
I heard it from people
who have
too.
BBM.
I heard it from people too. I'm
So
surprised.
what phone Gonje was Kelly using? This phone that they're talking about. It was a Samsung something, right?
Yes.
So she had downloaded BBM on that Samsung.
Apparently.
Kelly, you can confirm this anytime.
No,
Is it true or not?
Isn't it surprising that Baloyi, I don't know if you talked about this, Steyn is fetched by the so-called colleagues with the blue lights. Where was Baloyi then?
Don't know.
Last touch-ups?
You think? Because they kept saying that he was late.
And Baloyi also was late.
Yes, from the airport. He was late.
Aye.
So he was fetched with blue lights even. Wow. What
the judge was talking to Sibanda.
Oh, in the morning I didn't really pay attention to that conversation. So he was fetched with the blue light.
Yes.
So, is he even from Cape Town?
Look, there are many things that are questionable to me. For example, on the 8th, didn't we have court on the 8th?
No, we didn't. It was Thursday last week.
It was Thursday.
I checked. There was no court.
The statement was authored on the 8th.
Commissioned on
Commissioned on the 8th.
Yes.
Where was he when it was commissioned? Because you're supposed to be there. You're supposed to be there. That's my question. And then you commission the statement when the person, the owner of the affidavit is not there. Is that what happened?
It can't be.
So if he was here on the 8th, when did he go back to Cape Town?
Maybe he flies in, flies out every day. The state is paying. Maybe. Maybe.
Couldn't he have authored this thing there wherever he is in Cape Town? You need to come to Pretoria.
He could have. Yes, he could have. We go to the police station and you ask for it to be commissioned.
So that's why I'm doubting that he was where he says he was. Even the fact that he was late, to me, it doesn't seem like that. But they don't need to waste Steyn's time. They just need to ask him as to where he got all this information.
Yes.
and he must demonstrate to them
Your cross-examination
to
is going
satisfy
to be
them,
very
because
interesting.
instead of trying to prove with him and trying to argue, it's not going to help. Just demonstrate to us. You demonstrate to us, you win, you go. It's fine. We'll accept your evidence.
Well, Steyn also asked, Baloy also asked Steyn to explain the other call, the number ending with 4358, which is said to belong to Kelly. On the 15th of October 2014, received a phone call from the number ending with 9202, which is said to belong to accused number 5, lasting 0138. Well, Nisi stood at this moment to ask Steyn to address everyone in the court and not to go on like he's having a conversation with the state. The judge had a problem with this and said that he heard Steyn, he had the time or the page that he was telling them to go to. And Nisi said that just because the judge heard him, it does not mean that he heard him. And he heard what he was saying. But he never said that Steyn did not mention the number of the page. And he also said that he would like for the court, request the court to stop putting words in his mouth.
Yeah, that's about time you tell this person the truth.
Because I'm reminded of the time when the judge was really arguing for Steyn to come back. And at some point he said Mnisi said something, and Mnisi was even surprised and shocked. I think I even told you guys about it. He was like what? Why am I in it?
Why do you think there was a bit of cautioning of Mshololo of the wedding, of what he used in the morning before the stains? For me, before you say, it's just to instill fear. For me, that's like instilling fear. You want that person not to come hard, because last time when Steyn was here, a person who gave Steyn a hard time actually is Mshololo.
Yes, it was.
Yes. So you just go and target Mshololo before you even start cross-examining. Why is the judge doing that? In my opinion, it's like you are saying don't ask it, don't do it.
Rough on him.
Don't do it.
And I did talk about it. I was like, I'm glad Mshololo didn't respond.
It's like provocation already. It's like you're being provoked before you even start. You're being provoked to.
What exactly did he expect to say from Mshololo? To say, no, I didn't mean it like that. What exactly did he want from her?
Conversation that's gonna provoke emotions.
Well, it's a blue ticked him.
That's the best you can do. Answer when you have to, like Mnis. Mnis is right in saying don't put your words in my mouth.
Don't say I said something that I know nothing about.
Yes.
Well, Steyn also went to the number ending 4358, which is said to be that of Kelly Khumalo, and he said it received a call from 9202, which is said to be accused number 5 on the 15th of October 2014 at 17:53:57, and he said there's another number 3357 or the number ending with 357 at 0158. It received a call from the number alleged to be that of Kelly. And Baloy said if we turn to find Thillingham statements explain in terms of information, and Steyn said that this call is being made via normal airtime, a normal way of a call. And the judge asked, it's not data.
Yeah, because it's not explainable also. I think it's 2 calls. There were 2 calls, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're going to say the other one is... So that's difficult.
And at this point, I was like, honestly, like, this is my opinion, but we are being made fools here.
No, Steyn doesn't seem genuine, Buffett. No, I'm not gonna lie.
We are being made fools here.
It does not seem. This is my opinion. I'm not saying he is genuine or not, but to me, icon. The man doesn't seem genuine, and in fact, he sounds rehearsed.
He does.
He's still with rehearsal. Doesn't seem as if is there where he's supposed to be.
And I'm perplexed because now we are moving from Steyn being a data analyst of the downloaded in Don Dons to now being an app analyst manje. He can get inside the application.
On the other side, she's claiming
he's working for
she's got
BBM now,
nothing to
BlackBerry.
do with the downloading. Hence, there are people and names that are thrown there. And then later on, you tell us about rebooting and whatnot, where you want to explain now the cause along those lines. This doesn't make sense. I don't know, man. But I still said one thing. That man must show where he got to this 1 minute, 5 seconds. Simple as that. Show us where you got it, how you got it, how you are up to that. We see the rest of the things and whatnot, but just prove it.
Well, there was an incident there happening with a page. Apparently, there was an incorrect page, and the judge advised him to write that it's incorrect and show it to the defense and sign his signature and the date on that page. I don't know what was going on there. I don't know what was happening there.
You know what I hate these mistakes that are sort of spotted there as if really it's something you would do. It's like something that should, in a sense, show us, hey, I judge Mbela, you understand? And the errors and what is not true is being taken out, because that's what that is sending the message. But I didn't buy it.
Well, after that short adjournment, Steyn said that the number ending with 4358, which belongs to Kelly Khumalo, received a call at 17:53:57, and there was data usage between the 15th and 16th of October 2014. He said that the data usage does not show how much is being used, but it can happen that the device is under data the whole time, or she could be listening to music or something else. It won't show you where it starts. It will only show you where it ends. So now I would like to know, how did you know that was a BBM call or a WhatsApp call?
That's exactly what my question is.
How?
Now that we are talking about nitty-gritties like the call duration, then that means you know what was used.
You got inside.
You cannot get call duration. I put my head down. I can put my head down to. You cannot. There is no way.
He also said that the tower reception is exactly the same as the tower reception being mentioned by the Section 205. Just to give validity to what he is.
Yes.
The tower is Ivy Dale Farm, Limpopo.
You know, the guy is saying we are independent as analysts. Yet you are talking. The other question, does your system restore data? Lost data, does it do that? Does it have those capabilities of, okay, here's the cell phone, can it restore data? Because basically that's what it's saying now.
Well, Steyn also said that he could mention that there was communication between Kelly Khumalo with a cell phone number ending with 4358 and accused number 5 with his cell phone number that ended with 1202, which is the same one that is alleged to be that of Arthur Mafokate, allegedly. And the following dates were 2014 0802, 2014 1015, using internet, which will not appear or show on a normal Section 205. He says you can get it from downloading if the phone is available.
That's the nitty-gritties. What we have figured out with Pinky, but what Fillingham,
yes,
is that it does show the data usage. In fact, through that, they can even pick the connections where you were connected. So you can't just say they were calls and not explain them in line with Section 205.
Well, Baloy took Steyn to the exhibit with the list of all the applications / apps and programs of the cell phone.
That's where the blunder is, because now they are trying to say WhatsApp is there.
Steyn pointed the WhatsApp app and said that Kelly had WhatsApp on her phone as well as Twitter, but they have no Twitter messages.
Let me give a defense a free advice. Let us start with Twitter.
Mm.
Twitter does not have calls, direct calls, like you calling me, hey, I'm calling you. No, it does not have that. And at the time, even if it has it now, it did not have that. Maybe X has that. Right. Let's go to WhatsApp. WhatsApp did not have calls on 2014.
No. According to Google.
BBM, I remember using it. It did not have calls.
So you couldn't call a BBM.
Mm-hmm.
You could text. Now I remember people texting with Blackberries.
We just needed your what so-called a pin. Is it a pin number or something like that?
They were keyboard warriors. A lot of people learned how to type during that era.
That's why I'm saying the best way of looking at this, don't even look at nitty-gritties of law. Ask Steyn, do you know of the app that you showed here? Do you know any app that was capable of calling?
In
2014. As an analyst, you probably be best positioned to tell us. My research says no. Out of all these apps that you've mentioned here,
they are saying voice calls between two accounts were added to the app in March and April of 2015. By June 2016, the company's blog reported more than 100 million voice calls per day being placed on WhatsApp. 2015, March, April. And Steyn is saying Kelly was so advanced with her Samsung
he
that
could foresee that there will be calls. And in fact, while they're probably still rolling it out overseas,
she was part of the testing.
She was part of the testing.
That by October 2014,
because BBM
she
went
was
out
making
without
calls
even
on her WhatsApp.
BBM went out without even calling. It never upgraded from where it was.
And this is a mess, guys. This is a mess. And Baloi asked him to explain in detail what appeared on page 26 and 27.
And
Steyn was saying it's his Excel spreadsheet from the section 205 combined with the cell phone downloads. He said that he combined them to make it easier to present in court. And Baloi was
so someone else did that, right?
He's saying he did it.
Not Steyn. Steyn is an analyst. He's independent.
Okay, he's independent.
There's a TSU.
TSU, I did talk about it earlier.
And whatnot.
But now he's taking ownership of actually doing it. That's what's the confusing thing about Steyn. He's taking ownership of stuff that he didn't do. Even with the PDF, he was talking about it. He was being asked about it and he was taking ownership of that PDF as if he's seen it. And then he turns back to say, but no, I was given the Excel that came from the TSU. Then why are you speaking on the PDF, Steyn? Leave the PDF alone. Why are you not leaving it alone? Why do you like taking ownership of work? Even now, he's doing it again. He's saying he's the one who converted. He's the one who... I give up. I give up on Steyn. The defense will have a nice one here.
Yeah, but they need to have a proper understanding. Like, for example, they need to know that the apps at the time...
They didn't make calls.
There was no app that made calls. At the time. Not even Facebook, for that matter.
Not even Facebook. Messenger even came after WhatsApp. Yes, it did. It came after WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger. No.
So they must tell us where the calls are coming from for them to be able to read them.
Yes. Definitely. Well, Baloi then asked him, will this information, according with this information accord with the information of the section 205. And Steyn said it will go hand in hand, but if you are in a position of a cell phone download, it's better to work with both of it. The two can't be different from each other. It's only the 2-hour time lapse which can make a difference, as well as the removing of the zeros, as well as the removing of the +27s, as well as, yes, the adding of the 2 hours. There's a lot that happened there. And there was also an early adjournment for the defense to consult with their ballistic expert.
They shouldn't be swamped by that ballistic until they should focus on that ballistic expert, but also make sure that Steyn is seen for who he is.
His true colors.
That issue, did you talk about that issue of laptops? It confused me because what is Steyn saying? Steyn is talking about buying his own laptop. That's a personal laptop.
Yes, he's saying he used his personal laptop to compile the evidence.
Take information of the state that is supposed to be protected.
That's what he said.
And then you put it on your personal laptop. And then now you are claiming that you could have lost data. So that in case when you are being asked about something that you said previously, when you had the so-called 1999 Windows, which I don't understand for the life of me, how...
It's a movie.
You still have apps there that are working
You
properly.
could open BBM and WhatsApp with a Windows from 1999.
You still have your is it A&B program, an analyst notebook.
Yes.
There, that is working with the 1999.
With the 1999 Windows.
When you started, So you have to mention that so that when these things get heated, and then you say this is probably some information that was lost with
my old laptop.
Yes. And by the way, what is state's information doing in your personal laptop?
Personal laptop.
Steyn. 1999.
Let it go, Steyn.
I got these things when you do that.
Steyn, let it go. Let it go.
1999.
The more
Maybe
you
that's
try
why
to
the
fix,
calls are not matching.
The more you try to fix, the deeper in.
Maybe that's why the calls are not matching. 1999. You're analyzing BBM. It was not even there around that time. And WhatsApp. Aye, man.
It was not.
Now in NB program.
NB.
I being a 1999.
It had the font was with a blurry screen.
You know some people were still in high school around that time.
I remember because at the time that I started interacting with computers.
Give your age.
Like when I started interacting with computer, 99 could not do ish. It could not do
1999.
I had to use 2000, 2002. 99 was not doing the thing.
So this guy is saying he lost some of the information because now he's using new stuff. Was Windows Bangonji the latest?
I think it's Linux.
Hey.
Is it Windows Linux? Guys, correct me.
2023, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah. And the gap is really old, man. Gap is talking the difference between someone studying at high school
with that
to
thing.
working.
He could open BBM, he could open all these apps with that thing.
I'm
not buying that.
Steyn,
try somewhere else. People are learned now. We've got software engineers. We've got people that are learned in this.
Yeah, this thing of studying, go SAPS, then you become a data analyst, not even a data administrator. Yeah, data analyst.
Why can't they
They
hire
are declared by a judge.
proper data analysts?
What does a judge know about
Give
data?
them the SAPS training and keep it moving.
What does the judge know about data?
I don't
A
know.
judge
Not
declares
much.
you as an expert. All
He
of
knows
a sudden,
the law.
you know only law.
Mm.
Now, how can Rata declare me an expert?
I don't understand.
That's what he's been doing. Everyone's an expert.
Everyone is an expert.
Even Pinky is an expert. Then later is an assistant.
Everyone. And then he later tells on, I saw you 15 years ago in a court. Hey, but just because you saw them 15 years ago, now you're declaring them an expert.
You know, some other works you can work for 20 years and still be just a simple data analyst. To be called an expert has a different... That's the heading I'm looking for.
Egyptian Africa is saying 99 windows don't even exist. I mean, it no longer exists. But I remember using 99 at some point, and I had to change it to 2000. I remember.
I never used that thing.
It didn't work. It was not working.
I had, was it 2008? I was struggling to play FIFA.
With 2008, imagine. I had a very experimental father who wanted to know about computers. I remember. He was like,
I wonder if
99 was not working.
If they were testifying for my grannies and all that, yeah, they would buy that nonsense. Not us, man. Not us. And they must take us serious. At some point, they must think that we are capable of thinking. You know, we are capable of thinking.
Steyn. I stayed. When are you under my husband?
They come here, they tell us they verified through what and what. Please like the video, guys. Now all of a sudden it's minimal.
You're undermining us. There's no way.
Yeah,
no way.
Rata can believe that because I'm born man. Rata can believe that. When you tell him about it, and then he's gonna declare you an expert. Guys, let's have the calls if you do have something to say.
I'm defeated. I'm defeated. I don't understand what's going on in South Africa. I don't get it anymore. Let's hear what
the other people on WhatsApp say.
I thought we were told that the cell phones were confiscated by the police.
Yes.
How come did Kelly make calls the following day, especially to Zandi, because Zandi was not supposed to have her phone by then, because Kelly's phone was taken by the intruders. Let's say she had two. Then the other one was supposed to be taken by the police, and Zandi's too. So how come did Kelly call Zandi and the others with the same phone? Yeah.
From what I remember.
Yeah, it's lambasting us, but to answer that, I do answer it, Amen.
From what I remember, the phones were not confiscated on the night.
Yes.
That's what I remember. They were confiscated later in the week.
Yes. Zanzi, hello. Right. Call us again. This one is saying, hi Emily and Mr. Anonymous, I think we are asking wrong questions. For example, if Steyn says Kelly's phone was rebooted, my question would be, which phone? Mzansi, hello? Oh.
Mzansi, someone.
Yes, siyaphila mfethu, sicela nje ukuthi kancane lapha.
Sengivalile la sengivule khona niyaphila nodwa Mzansi reality show Emily and Mr. Ano.
Siyaphila mfethu wena singezwa ku.
No, siyancenga nathi. Cha nginilalele la bafowethu. Sengizizwa ngisele impela emuva la aningi educate kancane. We are told here ukuthi iyenzeka i-data call. Kodwa asitshelwa ukuthi yipi i-vehicle abayisebenzisile to do this data call. Now ukuthi nake sisele emuva kube sengathi hayi ungangena nje uGoogle bese wenza i-data call. Yipi le app abayisebenzisile ngoba sikhuluma ngoBlackberry. If you remember, BlackBerry ubu-tricky kakhulu.
Yeah.
U-BlackBerry in some cases bekula kunezinto ongakwazi ukusendela enye ifoni except ifoni yaka-BlackBerry.
True, they're trying to
by
be
the time
able,
of u-BlackBerry ngendlela esimazi ngayo.
Yes.
And futhi uma ngabe uzosebenzisa i-BPM ufonela umuntu ethi mhlambe bathi they were using i-BPM app, ushuthi the next person should also have that app angithi.
Yeah.
Awukwazi ukufonela i-BPM enye ifoni engenayo leyo app leyo. Bese ukhuluma kule data call. So kuningi esingatsheliwe kona la, kodwa sibona ngathi ijaji ayisele acceptile bafowethu ukuthi le call ikhona.
Ingenile.
Size kulento ka 2 hours edwayo. So sibona sengathi baya move away from i-data kaPinki kulama 2 calls ngoba sokhumbula ukuthi kuPinki PDF iyavela le call lama calls awu2. Then nakuyi spreadsheet ayavela lama calls awu2.
Yeah.
Kunale call eyenzeke ngo1 ebusuku noma 1 ekseni or somewhere ngo1. Now if you add 2 hours le call it takes you to 3.
Yeah.
Kodwa ngesikhathi beyi testify ngayo ba testify as if yenzeke nge2. Noma on the date ehambisana no Vodacom.
Yeah.
Why bengawu-edanga u2 hours yathi yenzeka nge3 leyo call leyo.
Exactly.
Bese yenzeke nge3 ekseni ngo3 isikhathi. Bese ne information isiwu-edile lo 2 hours abakhuluma ngawo kona. Bafuna ukushiya ngempi iphindiwe la. Usobala ukuthi ijaji liyalekelela la sebelibize ngoJudge Fakazileke. Athi Judge Fakazile abantu kodwa ke leli cala ngempela alisayi la noma alizukuya la kufanele liye khona ngenxa ukuthi kunama interventions amaningi la ijaji lingenelela khona lifuna ukuthi lisupporte le narrative edrive wayo ukuthi hayi lamadoda amahlanu iwona. One really believes ukuthi i-judgment was ready. Ezothatha nje ujaji from uJudge Mahumela, he came with the judgment already written.
Yeah.
Bekulapho nje guys ngithi ake sithi educateka la ngoba siyabona ukuthi le BPM ayisebenzi.
No.
Ngoba kwafanele noNtuli abe ne BPM ngaleso sikhathi leso ukuze kwenzeke le data call.
Yeah.
Abakasitsheli ukuthi yipi app abayisebenzisa.
Yeah.
Understanding it, an internet call noma a data call, it will only happen if they are using an app. It could be, you've said it, Mr. Arno, it could be a WhatsApp app, it could be even Twitter, so you know, Twitter, why say when the call or why say corner, let's cut less so the BPM thing.
Yeah.
Fanele basazi ukuthi they were using this app and by avoid ukuthi basho kanjalo ukuthi it was this app, so it's confusion nje yonke into abayikhandayo. No, angibonge guys ngitedela abanye.
Siyabonga kakhulu.
Siyabonga.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hayi. No.
Akuhlangana.
Awudingiqedele la.
The boy
If Steyn says Kelly's phone was rebooted, my question will be which phone, because the state told us that Kelly's phone was stolen by the alleged intruder. And if they try to, yeah, apparently she had many phones, man. Many phones. Many. Mzansi, hello.
Morning, Mr. Anonymous and Emily.
Morning.
Morning. I think there is one question that can destroy Steyn. If we to remember, Munisi, before coming to the call of the 15th,
yes,
those 2 calls that are in question, he took through certain calls that were corresponding between Steyn's data and the PDF that Biggie came with.
Yeah.
In terms of time, place, and everything. Before taking him to that call of the 15th, everything was corresponding. So coming to the call at the 15th, so they also need to tell us all those calls that are corresponding and the numbers that are corresponding. They need to tell us that it was they need to add 2 hours even there. They cannot only add on those 2 calls that are in question. They need to add in all calls that were made between the data Pinky and data Steyn, and they add 2 hours.
Yeah, Pinky, they are saying it's real time. They are not going there, and there is a plate.
Yes, I get that, but remember, there are other calls that Kelly they made in the data Steyn. They are confirming the right time. They are corresponding with the data peak. Yeah. Forget about these 2 calls that are in question. Other calls.
Yeah. Well,
so if those calls they are corresponding in the very same different spreadsheet, and that the time is the same, cell phone numbers are the same, so they need to tell us how is it possible these other calls are corresponding, but these 2 ones we have to add 2 hours. Because it's only these 2 calls that we are going to add 2 hours. But the other calls that means when he was taking Picky through, that they were corresponding from the data Steyn and the data peak. It's only those 2 calls that were not corresponding. So I think what means they need to take Steyn through all of them as they took Picky through.
I'm hoping you are going to get your wishes.
And the second thing, Mr. Anonymous, look at the call that the very same call Mushalala asked.
Yeah.
She said that the call at the 15 and the other call at the 18. The duration in Picky's document and Steyn's document, the duration was the same. Was not the same.
It was
the same.
Everything.
It was the same because she said the only thing that is different, it is the number. So they need to tell us how this coincidence of the call that happened in 2 o'clock in the morning and the call that happened in 12 o'clock that morning. How can these 2 calls that they are saying that they were not the same calls, having the same duration? Because the call that is in question, those 2 calls, they have the same duration. So was that a coincidence also?
No. I hear you.
I think they need to ask these 2 questions. I think they can nail Steyn. And I don't think Steyn has information to present to that court. Just that he's cooking and the judge is allowing him to do so. Yeah. But if they were to dig deeper, I think Steyn will crack. Thank you. Let me open and give other people a chance to call.
Thank you. Mzansi, hello.
Yeah, Mr. Anu and Sis Emily, how are you?
All good, sir.
Good.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Can you hear us? If you went to internet, You're calling us on internet. See. Keep them calls coming, guys. I think our caller is stuck. I want to understand, Uguti, what are the calls proving? Because there are no conversation of the calls. As if you download and you're saying an app, then obviously you must have seen even some conversation. That's a problem that is going to happen. But Asbambele, Mzansi, hello.
Hello, Misano.
Hi, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. No, thanks for taking my call. I've got few comments regarding the proceedings from yesterday. Mr. Ano, I've got a boy who's 2 years old, and he watches Coco Melon. And I'm telling you, Coco Melon is better than that court case. I'm telling you, it's actually way better. I'm telling you. One, I'll start with one. DDM call.
Yeah.
Mr. Ano, we got the privilege. Some of us, I got the privilege of using a BlackBerry and DDM.
Yes.
So I know how it works.
Yes.
Yes, you're going to come to court without a BlackBerry pin.
Yeah.
That is going to be linking an individual. Then you are playing, man. Because the call was happening between a BlackBerry with another BlackBerry. But the identification in DDM was a pin. That was the identification. Yeah, which is similar to your phone number. The pin was similar to your phone number in DDM. Yeah. And I called last week, guys. Last week I was saying I actually want Steyn to come back and explain. It's a good thing he came back. For the next today and even tomorrow he comes back, you'll be just waffling. You will not do anything to prove those numbers. You look at WhatsApp that is saying there was data usage. Mate, if the person from WhatsApp does not come, or the document does not come from WhatsApp to say there was a call, the person who's telling us that there was a call from WhatsApp is lying. I'm telling you.
Yes.
It's not possible.
Not possible.
Yeah, because how do you know? And to even go, not even go far. In October 2014, there was no WhatsApp call. Okay, let's assume that it was there. If it was there, how do you even show it if you're not from WhatsApp? Because when you do WhatsApp calling, that's why Vodacom can only tell you that there was data usage. But for you to be able to see the details of the call, you need to decrypt the call. That's what you need. You don't need. Yeah, you have to decrypt the call and say Shingai called Mr. Ano at this time on WhatsApp after decrypting. And if the cop can decrypt, that's okay. Munisi or one of those defense attorneys must give Steyn their phone to download it and show them, so that he can show them the calls on WhatsApp that they did yesterday. On WhatsApp, yes. And then you'll be able to prove that you can see it. Because to me, there's nothing like that. And Muniz was right. The state is just digging another grave for themselves. You can see Muniz was smiling that time when this guy was trying to explain. And only Rata, you're right, Mr. Ano, only Rata can be fooled by Steyn because he does not understand. I mean, if you don't even understand what Excel looks like, you will be fooled by anything. We know what Excel looks like. We know what is data modification. By putting removing a zero, putting with a star, whatever, you are modifying the data. And if Steyn is getting an Excel spreadsheet from STU, whatever, that other department,
TSU,
then why is he testifying about the PDF? You must testify about the Excel that he got. And in my own suspicion, allegedly, that document from TSU, that's where it was modified before it was given to Steyn. It was modified before it was given to him. That's where it was modified. And then they give him a data file that was already modified. And then you can link it, because it will make even life easier. You must just bring the file and import it and put it in that system of his and show the judge, especially the judge, because that was one of the reasons why judge said Steyn must come back, to show him how the system works. You must get a file, put it. You know, like Pinky would go to a file and open and check whatever, who code with the system showing. How many codes? Steyn must do the same, must bring the file and put it and show us.
Aye.
Oh, good. Thanks, yes.
Thank you very much.
All I can say is the court case is, Coco Melon is better than this one.
It's better than this one. Thank you. Grace's corner is better. Right.
Coco Melon.
Mzansi, hello. Mzansi, hello. Mzansi, hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, lovelies.
Hey, we're good.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can now. We can.
I'm here. Today the calls are really buzzing. It took a bit of a while for me to get through, but I'm glad I did get through. Today I just want to quickly just comment. I don't really have much to say because I was lost yesterday. I couldn't really follow what was going on in the courtroom, but I just want to address the issue of expert. I think the word expert is loosely used in that courtroom, you know, because when I go to court a lot, so when I go to court as an expert witness, I'm giving testimony based on my area of expertise in terms of my training and my, you know, the years of experience and what I do on a daily basis, right? Yes, but in my job, I do continuous professional development. So sometimes I would, attend maybe a 1-week course on a specific area, but that doesn't make me an expert in that area. Yeah. What I'm actually just doing is just filling in the gaps or just trying to, get knowledge of things within my area that I am interested in. But I can't go to court and claim to be an expert in a professional development course that I did for 2 or 3 days. And from what I can see in this case is that people are doing professional development, like short courses, 2-3 days here and there, and then they come to court and they're presented as experts. Do you know what I mean? So I think they're just using the word expert loosely. I'll just give you an example, for instance. Somebody who's a psychologist, let's say, somebody's a psychologist. Psychology is a very big area, right? Some people specialize in working with children. Some people specialize in family therapy and all those kind of things. You cannot call somebody who never works with children to come into court to come and give testimony about a child, maybe in a child custody court case, because that person does not specialize in children. They may have some knowledge about child development because they trained as a psychologist as part of the curriculum, but you cannot put that person on a stand as a developmental psychologist specialist kind of. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yes.
So Steyn most probably is just a cop, and then they just took him for this little course for 2-3 days, 4 days or whatever, and now they're calling him as an expert, as a data analyst. And my second point here is a question. It's not really a comment, but it's a question. My question here is this: so the data that they got from Vodacom, was it raw data, and then he analyzed the data? I'm just confused. I just need somebody to clarify that for me. So is it like somebody going out to do research as maybe, let's say, a PhD candidate or a master's candidate, somebody's doing their thesis, they go out into the field and they collect data and then they bring it and then they put it on a software like maybe SPSS and they analyze it to get graphs and things like that. So is this what Steyn did? They got the raw data from Vodacom and then he analyzed it. Is that what he did? I don't get it, because even if you collect data and you and in this case, somebody who collects data would be entering it manually on ESPSS, right? But then Steyn got a file already in PDF format. So then if he was converting it to an Excel file, why would the numbers change? And I think that's where I'm getting confused. If somebody can just clarify for me, but other than that, I don't have anything more to say. I'll just give other people a chance. I love you guys and you take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you too.
Would you like to answer
that? An expert for me, in our field, someone was asking, I saw the question on comments, would be someone who studies as he studies and practice to that field. As they grow and get to know this place or whatever that they are doing in and out. For example, you can be an expert in data science, for example, if you just, they do, these companies give the name expert to anyone. You can't just be an expert if you just work there for 5 years or 7 years, 8 years. Just because of that, then you're an expert. No. An expert is someone who wants to master that particular field, and if you have mastered it to such an extent that you can even expand on it, then you're an expert.
If you've worked on something and you have produced, I would say maybe someone who's written a book.
No. Is it?
So that doesn't qualify to be
other
an expert.
aspects are different. Let's put it like this. You say you're an expert of law. You practice law, you study law. You've got, for example, we can say, who's this guy who's in parliament for MK?
Dr. Hlophe.
Yes, Dr. Hlophe is an expert of law.
He's got a doctorate.
Yes. And he's practiced.
He's written
research papers. Yes, he's an expert of law.
Okay. But writing is a big part of becoming an expert, in my opinion.
You're talking about researchers now. Yes, writing is important. But what do I write when I'm a data scientist, for example? I'm busy getting my qualifications, busy with those papers. With their
portfolios.
Yes.
They've got portfolios that they present.
No, don't tell me about the LinkedIn people who wants to go and work portfolios.
We've got a lot of
I'm
them.
talking about someone, an expert is someone when you sit down and say, hey, Mfethu, here's something that is happening, 1, 2, 3. You'll be like, no, man, that I've faced that. This is what you need to do, 1, 2, 3, according to, even gets into that literacy part to say, okay, this is because of 1, 2, 3. That's why you're getting 1, 2, 3. Doesn't expect.
Okay.
So if you say, hey, find like Steyn now, just find a finder.
He's had to come back twice, and they are calling him an expect. Why couldn't he do it the first time?
Hey, Mzansi, hi, Mr. Anonymous. How are you guys this evening?
Well, all good, and you?
I'm good. I think I'll try to be short tonight because the hearing today was also as short and brief as well. No, my take for today, it was just the same old. Wow, a lot of corrections, and I think my question that I had today was, are we going to have similar events where we know that is coming back? Are we going to have similar things where discrepancies are being, rather doesn't like this thing of corrected, or there's a word that he uses, but for the thing of changing information. I think he has his own word that he tried to convince Shololo to use, when you can clearly say, because even the word that he used, even you check it in the dictionary, it still means that you've unlawfully tampered, because yes, they use the word tampering with the data from Vodacom. Yes. But that's my question, is that are we still going to have this thing of people coming just to correct their thing, so that when he gives that judgment that we all understand he has written, goes with these people and what they are saying and what they're agreeing? And for me, that I think it's another thing that is boring of hearing Steyn correcting and taking out a blatant paper and blaming it on someone who was his PA or doing something that they made a mistake, but yet that mistake was there for years and was used on a document in court, and now it's a mistake and not a typo, but a misprint that shouldn't have been there. That is a big red flag, is that this document has been there for the longest time until it was seen as there's arguments in this thing that these numbers should not have been there, or are not part of number 5's list of numbers or whatsoever, that they now want to retract that paper or those papers. That is for me a big thing. I was checking now on the internet about the Popy Act, and when it was signed by the president, I think the then president signed it in 2013. But I also went on the website to check when it was implemented, or the commencement date, because it was also in Parliament in 2014, which means that the president signed this thing in law, the then president, I think it would have been Jacob, in 2013. And I'll share the link with you, because it's on the Popy Act website. There's a lot of acts there, because some of those acts that are there, they supersede the 2013, because it's different acts that they collate with the different, like your money laundering. Your information can be extracted if it's when they're trying to find out if you're a money launderer or something like that, which means that other sections are also there in the Popy Act. So because some people don't actually, we say Popy Act the whole time, but we might not know about this, because I was trying to figure out this Popy Act thing that he uses that was not in place at the time. My question is, he worked on this case in 2023 or 2022. Just correct me if I'm wrong. And because he didn't work in 2014 on this case.
No.
So, because I think that's the confusion at this case as well, is that when they speak, sometimes they speak as if they're speaking that they did the investigation when the crime happened, when the incident happened, when we know that this team only worked, was the last team in 2018, I think, or so, that were working on this thing. When Geninda came into the picture. But every time they speak, and I think I'm confused there, that they would always speak as if they were the initial investigators on this case, when there's another docket and probably other people, other role players based on this case, which is also a bit confusing. Another thing that I wanted to mention, there was this BBM that was used. Another thing that was very famous at the time, I'm not sure if it was the rest of South Africa. Well, there was a lot of girlfriends and gay dating that would happen. It was Mixed. I don't know if you guys know about Mixed.
Yes.
I think that was way famous than WhatsApp now, but Mixed was very, very popular in South Africa. If you didn't have a BlackBerry, I think it didn't matter which cell phone you had, well, that could take internet. But for me, an app was also that we could communicate with people, strangers, whatever, was Mixed at the time. Unless you had the BBM, which I agree with the later callers, that it was BBM to BBM, and there was a PIN that was linked to that. So I don't understand when he speaks in a vacuum about information that people, as you say, South Africans should know about, and yet they speak as if nobody is aware of what was happening or what systems were in place at the time. But yeah, those were just some of my questions and ponderings about today's briefing. And can I understand that at one, they went to consult with the ballistics persons?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, no, because I heard about the 1,300 hours that they had importance, though, meeting or something. I was like, I hope it's the ballistic people that they're meeting with, because it was a whole commotion about breaks and trying to find out where the court case is. But yeah, thank you guys for just keeping us updated and for your hard work that you guys put in. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling, Jonathan. Thank you.
Pleasure. Bye.
And sharing your thoughts as well.
Right. Someone is saying, finish my lokuzana. Okay.
Your message, please finish.
It says by the alleged intruder, the phone was stolen by the alleged intruder, and if they try to tell us that they downloaded another phone and not the Samsung, then the follow-up question will be, in which cell phone was the specific SIM card in? Because we have the records from 2005 indicating the SIM card was in the Samsung. Yes, that's how the message finishes. Yeah, thank you, Jonathan. And if Steyn is an expert, why he didn't analyze the data in PDF but had to convert it? You remove and add. This is the last caller, Emil. Zanzi, hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, njani lapha?
Sikhona mfethu njani?
Yes, siyaphila lapha.
Yes.
Silalele.
Ukuthi uSteyn usarecognizwa njenge celebrity naye ukuthi usahambiswa ngama blue light. Okunye engikubukayo lokuthi bakhulume ngama blue lights phakathi ecourt.
Yeah. Oh.
Blue light.
Yes.
Ngathi ungayiphinda
yeah, there is a lot lefiye abayifakayo because I operation ye judge ukuthi uma ngabe
we are break. Ish. Kodwa ngiyakuzwa la ubheke khona. Ngiyakuzwa la ubheke khona. Ubheke ekuthanini it's fear. Okay, can amount to fear. To say that these people who, I was even thinking it's Gininda's team was fetching him, the one who was sweeping the road for. Yeah, I get you where you're going. If since an expert, why didn't you analyze data on PDF but had to convert it? You remove and add, but you are on an expert analyzing. I don't believe it. Well, one might argue that, well, I'm an analyst, so I need tools that are acceptable for an analyst. But I don't understand this word of analyst being thrown around. There's sports analyst and there's everything that is an analyst. Now we have Vodacom analyst.
Vodacom University.
Right. No, guys, I said Shop is an expert and I cannot be swayed. No, Shop is an expert. Forget about politics and everything. Because we get swamped to that thing. Aliko, ne judge lane, we see Ivan Uzonda. Mshana, what qualification does he have? Mshana lapha nokuhlopha. Mshana.
Nokuhlopha is Leonard.
Leonard, that guy. Whether you like it or not. Not only is Leonard in one of those universities that you find it hard to study there. Not the vets or what. No. Cambridge.
That's why they have to remind you that he's impeached. Yes. Once they start doing that to a person, you must know that there's something.
A guy, that's why he's free. He can say anything. He can stand on a podium and not worry about the LPC. Can't take this doctorate. Can you?
No, they can't.
No,
take
they
it
can't.
Away.
They can remove that thing of what he has practiced in any cases. In fact, he wants to change South African law, and it's not that he's starting doing it now. He's been doing that.
Yes, he's done it. He's
people who have worked it consistently.
In fact, it's part of the problem that got him into trouble.
Yes,
because he's been vocal about the land, even when he was still a judge. So you can imagine how some people
others
felt.
They'll say you're not supposed to say that. That's South African law. You're not supposed to say that.
They want to monitor what comes out of your mouth.
PC. Hey, guys, please like the video, share the video. Thank you very much for being with us, and we appreciate you. It's a bye from my side.
Yeah, guys, see you tomorrow.
Yes.